Well, I was my only suggestion, and I'm not sure if I even made it out loud because it was pretty weak, was a party like it's 1999, but that would have simply been that wouldn't have been so much an alternate history as a failed prediction or something.
Maybe the times they are changing.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, you mean the song? The times they're
Yeah.
changing. That's the Wisconsin tradition, by the way. Is if someone says any random sort of whatever you call that phrase like that, you just go, yep, definitely there. Oh, speaking of locations, little bit of funny trivia for everyone here. Not one of us share a time zone.
Yes.
To get on Skype, we all had to I had to make a goddamn spreadsheet to figure out when everyone would be available. Because, yeah, we are each at least 1 hour off from the other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
And just in case for those of you in America, just because Seth and Cody are both in Australia, it doesn't mean they're in the same time zone.
We basically live on opposite sides of the continent, so...
Yeah.
I had to look it up, and they really, honestly, almost perfect opposite sides of the continent.
And our continent, it basically has corners.
Yeah. It's probably the most square continent out there.
And it's got a big bite out of the bottom of it.
Either way,
Yes.
it's tipped to be a square. Sorry, had to do it.
Yeah. Yes. Now I've got to go murder. Nope. I'm not. I got no way to continue that. I was going to make an American Psycho joke, but
Yeah, you have to
I
return-
decided to abort it there.
We're all just waiting there with bated breath, like, oh no, not again, no.
No, totally unrelated murder spree.
American Psycho, starring Tom Cruise. Because when I saw that film, at one point I actually forgot I was watching Christian Bale, as he dressed and even acted a lot like Tom Cruise in Eyes Wide Shut.
You do know that Tom Cruise was actually in the book, apparently.
Say what?
Seriously.
Tom Cruise as Tom Cruise himself. Apparently, Bateman meets Tom Cruise in like an elevator of his apartment place, and Bateman goes, "Hey, you're Tom Cruise, right?" And Tom goes, "Yep." And that's pretty much all the scene is, just them saying hi to each other in an elevator. But it's Tom Cruise, so it's funny.
Well, that's nothing. I have a novel in which one of the supporting characters is Johnny Carson.
Which one is that?
It's actually an obscure fantasy novel that I reviewed on my channel a while back. It's called The Knoll.
Right.
One of my favorite books. Basically, Johnny Carson gives Fungal, the knoll of the title, an interview.
Oh yes, I remember this now. Yeah, the dirt guy or whatever his thing was.
Yes.
I'm trying to remember what the knoll exactly was, because after I watched your review, I looked it up on Wikipedia, and now all the information I got from your review has been pushed aside. I'm afraid.
I actually have a spare copy of that novel if you want it.
That's all right. I have a Half Price Books over near me that'll probably have it.
Hope so.
I have ordered so many used books off of Amazon Marketplace.
Oh yeah.
I haven't read 10% of them. I'm drowning in things over here.
We often joke at our house that we use our books for insulation.
Oh. I'm just worried that my walls are, most of my walls, except for the one you can see, which is right behind the door, are all bookcases and everything, and yeah, I'm worried because it's basically a tinderbox.
Oh.
Well, I've broken my bookcase in my bedroom with all the stuff I put on there.
It's absolutely weighed down.
Let this be a lesson to all the kids who think that it's good to read. The more you read, the more chance you have of dying in a horrible fire.
Well, now we have Kindles.
Which is that name kind of reminds me of like fire, kindling or something. That's what I thought of. It's like, are they trying to make you think of books negatively, or
Don't forget, Kindles. Yeah, well, Kindles can give you cancer.
what's that?
I'm just joking, but the same could be true of any electronic device that you hold in your hands or up to
Oh,
your
right,
face.
that whole thing.
You know, it'd be funny if, like,
Like an
all
ink.
your books were set on fire, and the first book that starts it is Fahrenheit 451.
I'm trying to make a joke about a bad book on my shelves, but I'm really not that good at literature jokes. Yeah, Dean Koontz might ignite it. That's the funny thing about books is that you read the stories, and if you read enough of their books, you begin to read the authors, and you start to actually see some of their hang-ups and whatnot. I think Dean Koontz has issues with his mother. I'm not sure, but maybe.
You know, it might just be me, but I think Stephen King is from Maine.
He was
You
bullied
may
horribly.
be on something.
Really?
And I'm pretty sure he was unpopular as a kid. Let's get that out of the way.
I'm also pretty sure he's a writer. Because
Something you might not know about Stephen King, and I'm not sure whether it is correct or not, but I'm looking up the Wikipedia article now. That's by no means the article is by no means correct in itself. But anyway, apparently, I remember reading at one point that Stephen King witnessed one of his friends being run over by a train.
Yeah, that was in Stand By Me.
Oh, right.
The whole thing
And-
with the leeches really happened to him, too.
Oh,
So don't even
they're-
try to think about that.
they're wussy people. They're just leeches. Yeah. But apparently, Stephen King.
Seth being from Australia, the land of killer animals. But anyway, go on.
Apparently, Stephen King suppressed this memory, but it's almost certain that this traumatic experience would have influenced his writing. We're getting really off topic, but
did we have a topic?
Yeah, I was abandoning the idea of a topic pretty early on.
yeah. But well, speaking of books and specifically obscure books, I'm sure the four of you would have heard of a fellow named Eric von Daniken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The name's familiar, but I'm not entirely sure
Okay.
why.
Well, he was. I'm not actually sure what title or profession he had. Hang on. But yeah, he released. He was an author. That's all he was. He was the one who claimed that the huge monuments made by ancient civilizations could only have been constructed by extraterrestrials.
He's one of those guys.
One of those guys, yeah. And he claimed that the pyramids of Giza could only have been made by aliens, by alien tech. But a lot of his claims have been completely debunked. But weirdly enough, his ideas of alien visitation, generating our belief in gods and so on, they were actually adapted into a series of comic books. And I have a couple of those. And they're absolute tripe, but they're still They're still amusing to read.
Yeah, I was actually somehow I've gotten a hold of 2 different books written in like the 60s and the 70s by people putting forth odd things. Like one was called Gaia, which was suggesting that the Earth itself is a macroorganism or a super macroorganism, itself one whole living thing, and of which we are somehow a part. And I can't remember the more recent one.
Was the more recent one the one about the idea, the claim that the moon was built?
No, that's older than the 2 I've just read.
Ah, right.
I still, people hate on me for actually going against that, but I still like the idea as a story, at least.
It's the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy thing.
Yeah.
Oh no! The twist on that one, and for those I guess who haven't seen my video, is that basically the whole thing is that we will in the future decode some message left in the moon that will tell us that we have to go back in time and construct the moon using our advanced future tech and our time machines. And so we will have basically created a giant time loop.
What?
And apparently this is the only logical explanation. Yeah, that's an awesome idea. But it's also somewhat unlikely. But,
It's like, I could just imagine these people like, why do we need the moon? You just need to build it. Why? Because it was always there.
I mean, if someone says no, then you've started a time paradox. Okay, I can't do the Metal Gear music.
Has anyone read Dragon Riders of Pern?
I had a girlfriend who was in love with that series, but I have not myself read them.
The climax is 500 years ago. No one knows why.
dude, start over. You lost.
And so they don't have anyone to save them in the present. So they figure they have to go back 500 years and pull them all forward to solve the problem they created. It's just weird.
I kind of like those kind of endings where it's also the beginning. It's kind of like the end of Mighty Max, which Rick himself reviewed.
Mm-hmm. It was the only way they could get away with the idea, because in that last episode, most of the heroes get brutally murdered, for realsies, but there's a time loop, so it's okay.
Well, there's the implication that they can do it better the next time, but yeah.
And by better, I mean do everything the same up to the point of that last episode. And
right,
because they won every episode before then, so...
That's the Dark Tower approach.
Oh, don't get me started about the Dark Tower.
That one started out promising and then got a little weird, but I guess I still haven't finished the series.
I like the first 3 books, but then after that it got so...
It actually has a warning not to read the last chapter if you like the ending as it stands.
Yeah. But it got so... It just... Once you got into, the 4th one, I can't figure what it's called.
It was when they met him, Stephen King, personally, that I was this is turning into a strange vanity project, isn't it?
Well, I mean, in the 4th book, they end up in, the world from The Stand. Oh, and this is okay, this is weird. And then they end up in, Oz. and it just... The last 3 books just become this really self-referential mess, because, here's a character from Jacob's Lot, and